guys, we are here to talk to you today about some of the best books that we read in July. Personally, I think this might have been my best reading month so far this year, which I'm very proud of.
Yeah, I read lots of good books this month too. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So I'm going to save a few of mine for a future video, but I still have some left over to talk about. So let's just dive right in. So the first one on my list for July is a brand new series from Christopher Healy, who is the author of the Hero's Guide series. Very fun adventure middle grade writer. This is a perilous journey of danger and mayhem, a dastardly plot. It is set in 1883 in New York City, and our main character is Molly Pepper and her mum. And they are inventors who would really love to be a part of the Inventors Guild in New York City, except they do not admit women. So they're trying to get around that rule, but then at the same time there is the World's Fair has come to New York, or is coming to New York. So in their attempts to become part of the guild and be taken seriously as inventors, they actually stumble across a plot to destroy the World's Fair and the whole city. It's really neat because there are tons of actual inventors, both male and female, referenced throughout the book, so it gives you a little bit of like extra research to do on the side if you should be so inclined. But yeah, it was just it was a lot of fun, and it was a neat way to explore science at the turn of the century.
So the first book I'm going to talk about is one I've already touched on in our Readathon wrap-up video, so you can go check that out if you're interested in more of my thoughts, but that is Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery. This is a fairly classic story. Obviously, I'm sure most of you know what it's about, but if not, this is about little orphan Anne on Prince Edward Island, who is taken in by siblings Marilla and Matthew, and her kind of like misadventures on Prince Edward Island and at Green Gables. It's so charming. This book really made me happy, and if you're looking for something that just gonna pick you up, this is a good one.
Next up we have Scott Pilgrim #1. I had never read this series before. I saw the movie ages ago and I absolutely love it. I think it's so funny, and I just loved all the characters in it, so it was very fun to finally read the source material and sort of like watch it play out in my head as I read. I didn't realize until Crystal pointed out, but this is the color edition, and not just all black and white, so it's like it all just really flies off the page, and it's super fun and super bright. And the cool thing about this edition is that it also has all the character design notes from Bryan Lee O'Malley in the back, so a super cool edition to stumble across at the library. I'm glad I finally read it.
Next up, I have The Boy in the Black Suit by Jason Reynolds. I absolutely fell in love with this book. I think Jason Reynolds is fast becoming one of my favorite authors. And this story is all about Matt, who recently lost his mother, and at the beginning of this book, he gets a job at a funeral home, and because of this job, he starts wearing this black suit every day. And he also finds it kind of cathartic through this job to attend other people's funerals, so he kind of like sits on the sidelines and just witnesses all of these other funerals. Matt is such a great character. This is really a book that kind of explores grief and family and community, and Matt goes through so much in here, and he starts to fall for this girl named Lovey, who has gone through even more in her life than he has, and he tries to take strength from her. It's such a great story. It's a really quick read. I totally recommend it.
And the last one on my list is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste. This one had been, floating around Bookstagram everywhere, and I had seen it in the bookstores and all over the place. And then my sister actually chose it as a book club pick for the club we're in together. So I finally picked it up, and I really loved it. It's a story of two families, one quite wealthy, the Richardsons, living in the suburbs, and a single mother and her daughter who move into their carriage house just up the road. And it's these like worlds colliding, and they become quite intertwined. So friendships and drama and all kinds of backstory that you learn as you go. I just thought it was really beautifully written. I cannot wait to see what Reese Witherspoon does with it, because she is turning it into either a movie or a series. Yeah, just a really great inner life drama about families.
Next up, I actually have a nonfiction book, and that was The Art of Asking by Amanda Palmer. Now, I listened to the audiobook of this, and I totally recommend it because she reads it, and not only that, but there's also songs scattered throughout here that she performs in the audiobook. I will be honest, I only knew of Amanda Palmer as Neil Gaiman's wife, which is kind of bad, but I was interested to read this, and I learned so much about her life and kind of her views on art and social media and kind of being an online presence. And this book is obviously the art of asking and kind of not being afraid to ask for help or for money or for assistance or just for anything, or a place to stay. It can be anything. It's just how we as humans are so reluctant to reach out and ask for help. I did not expect this to be a 5-star read. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I definitely recommend it. Even if you aren't a fan of Amanda Palmer or don't really know who she is, I still took so much from this, and I am now a fan. Alright, so those were just a few of the books that we read in July and really loved. If you read anything that's gonna stick on that 5-star list, let us know in the comments down below. We'd love to hear it. As per usual, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more. Happy reading, and thanks for being awesome. Bye!
Bye!